Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Feeling Seen, the podcast that talks about the movies and the characters that make us feel seen. And my co-host today is a very exciting individual to have on the couch opposite me in our very cool studio. I love getting to do this in person with people. You might know her from her recording career, which kicked off in the public eye in the form of American Idol in her teenage era. You might know her from RuPaul's Drag Race. You might know her from the slasher comedy, really, Hag, that we previously had the writer-director Sam Weinman on for back in the fall. Adore Delano, RuPaul's Drag Race, we could throw that in there.
Yes.
Like, what else do the people need to know about you before we get started? The polymath entertainer that you are. What else do the people need to know?
I mean, look, I have tried to do it all and dip my feet into everything, but right now, like, I'm just like super excited to like be jumping into like acting and taking it like super serious, and super appreciative that Sam gave me that opportunity to get my toes fully wet in that, and but yeah, that's where most of my my direction is headed right now, is just really taking that serious and seeing what doors open for that.
Well, because I feel like a big part of obviously a huge part of the experience of watching Drag Race, there's the camaraderie and competition aspect of that. And so much of like what's happening in like the green room, the prep room, and that kind of thing. What going on to a film set, what was the difference or the similarity of that kind of team environment where there isn't a competitive element, but I think a beautiful thing about like Drag Race is the queens are ultimately there for each other. It's not like a vicious thing.
Yeah.
Really? How did you find a film set to be similar or different from that sort of like team of artists bringing something together?
Well, that's a good question.
Oh, thank you.
It's definitely a breath of fresh air to know that there's no competitiveness in the air.
Yeah.
Because even if the queens are there for you, you're still in a competition.
Yeah.
And I started out in competitions with American Idol.
Right.
When I was like 16, my first run was on it. So, I mean, just like my start to television in the entertainment industry was always like a competition show, and kind of like in that era. But I do take from everything that I've done in my life, whether it's media training or learning how to not be too like nervous in front of a camera. So I think taking from American Idol, taking from Drag Race is probably just all of that, and just making sure that like honestly, my first scene, I was really nervous, and then like something hit me, was like, they're not looking at you how you're looking at yourself.
Yeah.
They're just looking to see if your hair is out of place. They're looking to see if you got makeup on your shirt.
Yeah.
Just deliver your fucking lines and make sure that it's believable, and put yourself into this character as much as you can, but also give her grace and learn how to like love her and make sure that she's a fully realized creation of your emotion. And but yeah. Did I just go on a tangent?
No, I think that was perfect. No, I think that was beautiful. And so Hag is we've had Sam on, we've talked about it, but Hag is the story of a guy, Rowan, who aspires to be a recording artist, and we meet him sort of in the wake of tragedy in his life, and an old friend emerges to, in some vital ways to help him reconnect with himself and things that he loves. But then she is also a frightening and shady character who has terrifying motives, and you play not a villainous. You play a sharp-edged character who's a friend of Rowan's named Opal.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, because I feel like I'm assuming Adore kind of began as a character for you before
definitely.
you really grew into her.
Definitely.
And you merged, and you're like, oh shit, there's a reason why she's here. Did you find a heavy distinction between when you began embodying a character and performing as Adore, as you performed on Drag Race, performed as a recording artist, in creating the character of Opal? Or is that a different kind of performance for screen, or
it's kind of
feel familiar in its process?
Definitely familiar in its process. It's so trippy because, like you said, it started out as like this caricature almost of like all of the people that influenced me, all the powerful feminine creatures in my superhero mind. I created into this Adore persona, and then became a fully realized trans woman, and then adopted that name onto my identity, and now it's my legal name, and now I move through the world as Adore Delano, which is pretty trippy. But yeah, and offering, all of that onto a character in a movie, it's kind of like borrowing little bits and pieces of the original kind of idea of kind of like, creating this creature,
Yeah.
but she's also like, she's also a fully realized person in my head. Like, so there's definitely bits and pieces of like the persona of Adore in that character, which my mom clocked like right away. She's
Really?
like, she's like, I love that. It's like, I see like you on stage vibes. Like it gives that
crazy.
like, so it's definitely like, like I borrow from that confidence factor for sure. Because I mean, I'm just a small town girl from 45 minutes away. But yeah, definitely. I borrow some of that information. That compartmentalized memory.
I think I've heard you like Azusa.
Yeah.
The only reason I bring that up is because I was very familiar with Azusa growing up in Canby, Oregon, because there is a Christian college there.
Azusa Pacific
Yes.
University.
So many people in my little town of it's like the feeder university to go to a Christian school is Azusa Pacific. So it's actually been in my mind for a long time.
Yes.
Azusa.
It's crazy. Never mind. I'm not even going to tell you the stories about APU. It was right by where I grew up. But yes, definitely a Christian school.
With surely devout and not lapsed people ever
at all,
and are not on any kind of apps whatsoever. I'm certain.
No,
before
the
apps, and any connotative thing that might come with that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say something that I won't say.
You said it, not me.
But until right as we're gonna get into the creation, the creature, the baddies of sort of modeling yourself toward and after, just as the persona. Before we get right into that with the movie, I do want to ask one more thing about the creation of Adore. There was, and I feel like I brought this up recently in this podcast, when Jennifer Lawrence was coming back into the public conversation, she's being interviewed by the New York Times in a profile, and he asked her about her name, like the name of Jennifer Lawrence, or like J Law, like what she's called basically by the public versus kind of how she's referred to at home.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry I did not fact check this before I'm coming on, guys. It's really just coming to mind. But she kind of mentioned like her relationship with her name being sort of conflicted because like the notion of Jennifer Lawrence belongs to everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's like I feel disembodied from it because that's how I belong to other people. And in private, I'm someone else. And that belongs to just like a select few who actually know me. Was there when you adopted Adore as your name forever, was there a new kind of consideration of what that name would have to mean to you, or how that behavior or the behavior that you would have knowing that name Adore Delano already meant something to so many people as a creation and something that exists on stage bigger than life?
100%. I just had this talk with my brother recently about my name and what it meant to me, and you hit the nail right on the head, because I was really, really apprehensive with adopting that name at first. Yeah. Just adding like an A to my birth given name. I was like, it could be Daniela. And sometimes, honestly, if I'm being like super like honest, I do still kind of go back and forth in my head, like, did I make the right decision? Because I do have like the tug of war of being a triple Libra and also being like, is this right? But I also adopt the same mentality of one of my heroes, Tina Turner. You can take it all, just give me my name. I've done too much with this name. There's already smoke and fire with this name that I've really built on within the last almost 15 years. Wow. And so much success from this name. It's already known and solidified. And what can you do with this name? Do I want to, start over with another persona or identity, if you will? But yeah, at home, that was something that I struggled with. Like, do I want my mom calling me Adore? Do I want my brothers calling me Adore?
Am I at work when they say Adore?
Am I at work? Yeah. It's very that, but it's also like, let me take the power back and like share some of that with myself as well, because I've worked really hard for this name. And like it's mostly like sharing the power and love that I share with the world, and taking that with me in my everyday life, and just walking in my truth and power, like as much as I can. And again, just like, very Tina Turner with it.
Well, and that is also a perfect segue into the character and the movie that you have picked.
Yeah.
The person versus the persona, the opportunities, to live one's dream, perhaps through taking on a different identity. You have brought to the table Drew Barrymore's Josie in Never Been Kissed.
Yes.
And I will say, in the various interviews that I've listened to get ready for the show, I have heard you invoke Drew Barrymore, and even before we started recording, brought up Drew Barrymore, not even in the context of this movie, but just multiple times as a figure of relevance in your life.
In so many ways.
What is the enduring connection there of Drew? And what was the beginning of the connection with Drew?
I mean, ever since I can remember, I would say probably Scream when I was 6 years old. Like, I just had this weird... Or I can even go earlier to Poison Ivy. Like, this is
hell yeah.
She was my style icon. She was the embodiment of just rebellious, almost like sweet, rebellious female rage to me that I always wanted to embody. Like, specifically, like...
She was even Firestarter, if you're going to say it like that.
Exactly. You know what? E.T. phone home, motherfucker. But it's like, no, she always was this kind of like beacon of beauty and rebellion and kind of like style to me that I always identified with or always gravitated towards. I think she was like, even in Charlie's Angels.
Yeah,
like,
man. Dylan is the like angry bitch of the group.
Yes. She's just always super punk, but with a flower little edge. Like
Flower Films.
Love that about her. I don't know what it is. There's something very soft yet thorny about her that I always just was drawn to since I was like really little. And Never Been Kissed, that movie came out like when I was super young. It was like in my like development years of just like seeing a transformative character that like got her dream as, you know, kind of like embodying and kind of like, you know, going with the flow of society and just kind of coming out the other end, realizing that the power was always inside of her.
Yeah.
I always identified with transformative characters. I will say, though, after I transitioned, it changed into like Jennifer Check. Because it was like...
I watched your interview with Monet Exchange in which you were in a full set leisure suit modeled after the Jennifer's Body heart print.
Absolutely.
Like terry cloth jacket.
It was in that type of era where I was very, very much so living that rage of like getting the sudden like from weirdo to like hot chick from straight cis males.
Yeah.
I never experienced that. It was at the airport with no makeup. It was going to get a gallon of oat milk.
Yeah.
It was everywhere around me, and I did not know how to receive that right away. And I think it was because I expedited my transition with doing my FFS so quickly.
Yeah.
That society was seeing me as I felt inside, and I didn't know how to make that transition, for lack of a better word, that quickly.
Yeah.
And it made me angry with men. Like, I really wanted to like beat everybody up.
I'm sorry that happened so quickly. I feel like that normally comes a little down the line. Sorry that your entrance to like I'm full-time woman in the world was like, fuck these guys.
I get it. I was like, you know what? I get it. For every girlfriend, every best friend that I had growing up, I get it. Like, and to go through that in your formative years, preteen, teenage, like I would be ripping men's heads off, like from fucking spine.
Yeah.
Like, and it made me angry, but in a girl, like I wanted to embody that like pinkness of like, and it was like so like.
You want to be Flower Films, but you're being forced to be Jennifer Jack.
Yes. I was like, I'm killing boys.
You're killing people. No, yes. I'm killing boys.
And I was dating heavily at the time, straight cis men, and it was fucking insane. Can we cuss on here?
Yeah, you can actually.
Fucking insane. I was dating people that were well known, not known, musicians, comedians, like, and everybody had the same check of no matter what age they were. It gave, like, at the end of the date, like, what the fuck is this? Like, what?
You're like, can I go back, actually?
Yeah, dude, like, give me my fucking 70s mustache back, dude, because I'm about to rip your head off. and drink your blood.
You're like, I would actually rather live my truth, but
yeah,
I don't want. Now I don't want.
I'd rather be Josie Grossi again.
I'd rather be Josie. Not. I don't want to be Josie Grossi.
No,
I
exactly.
want to be
yes.
which feels like such an incredibly drag thing to.
Yes.
Like to really take ownership of Josie Grossi and be like, I'm actually going to live her to the fucking sky.
Yes, and I have half of her in me now, which I'm grateful for. Because it turned into like weirdo queer into like sex kitten, like literally within like 6 months.
I'm so sorry that you are conventionally very beautiful.
No,
I'm so like, sorry.
I'm saying from like the
but I mean that as an it's like because I know you have like a core like I'm like a weird like I think you talked on Monet's podcast about like a tattoo you got that like says like weirdo like on your leg, and I'm you're very conventionally beautiful. I'm sorry you butterflied into something just so excessively gorgeous.
Sometimes
God damn it,
the caterpillars be moving slow, but they get somewhere eventually. Damn it, I'd rather be Josie Grossi at least on weekends. Man. Like, come on, like fuck these men.
That's when you're like, actually, I am part-time Daniela.
Yes,
it's what I want to just be Josie Grossi.
Excuse me. That's literally what I battle, and I think eventually, like when I'm like in a few years when I'm 40, I feel like well. In 4 years when I'm 40.
I'm currently 40.
We're from the same era, basically.
Yes.
I think that I probably will eventually change my name. I'm assuming. But right now, I'm embodying this whole like Marilyn Monroe-esque type of Tina Turner vibe that I can move pretty slyly throughout the world with. But yeah.
Well, how was so you're watching this like you're not even a tween when you're watching Never Been Kissed.
Oh no.
Yeah. Do you have a Josie Grossi teenage experience, or is that like what you were also okay?
Oh yeah.
That was your truth as well?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I came out of the closet as a gay kid when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
And my mom, who is like a beacon of like love in my life, like she's just like,
it's such a beautiful recurring thing listening to interviews. Like anytime your mom comes up, it's just like a true like rock and a
she really
hero.
Is. And like, God damn it, I put her through some shit, and she still unconditionally understands. Even if she doesn't, she'll just like be there. Like, she doesn't need to understand, but she will love, respect, and like she will always be I will always be like my mom's baby. And she like was weirdly accepting right away. I come from like a Mexican American Chicano like Cholo family. So my mom, like not having really too much experience with a queer child and a flamboyant, and
you have brothers otherwise.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, I know what to do with I've got these 3 boys here. Yes. I know how to raise boys.
Yes. And she said that she knew when I was like younger, like it was like it was something different. But yeah, where were we going with that?
Oh, I was just asking if your high school years were Josie Grossi years.
They definitely were. Okay. I did have a transformative Jennifer Check-ish moment in my high school years before the movie even came out. I did kind of blossom into, I was living in my girlhood. I came out to my mom as trans when I was 15, right after I think my 15th birthday, and wearing full face of makeup, super like punk goth, but like long hair, nails done, just like living in that. So definitely the transformative part of that. But yeah, super, especially at the time, like super like bullied, super like brutally bullied.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, it's not fine, but like fuck it. It gave me some grit. I'll fuck him up now. But yeah, definitely identified with that character, especially like the egg scene. That tore me up when I was a kid, because it's like it was always that. It was always like some bullshit like that.
The story of course, Never Been Kissed is Drew Barrymore is Josie, and we meet her as an adult. Yeah. Mostly meet her as an adult, where she's now a working journalist, and she gets tasked with going undercover to high school to report on the youth. Yeah. And so she has to get sent back to what, like, perhaps the worst time of her life. Yeah. Humiliated before like prom and all that. When she goes back and she's trying so hard and it's not working out again. No. Like Josie High School 2.0 is not working out again. But her brother, played by David Arquette, decides that best years of his life, he's gonna go back to high school too. Yeah. He was always a popular kid. So he gives her clout by association. Absolutely. So she becomes a part of the clique. which, hey, that's great. But she also, like, befriends a tender, kind-hearted nerd. Lily Sobieski with one of, we hate to objectify, but with one of the great body reveals in the history of cinema.
I thought she was the most beautiful.
I thought she was the prettiest girl in the world.
Same.
Unbelievable.
Glass House, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. No, Lily Sobieski was a formative, beautiful star for me when I was young.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I remember watching her and being, like, stunned. Even, like, in her, like, nerd-esque
Oh,
era.
absolutely.
Like, I was like, wow, this person is beautiful.
Yeah,
like, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I feel like that's a formative queer experience of watching Never Been Kissed,
for
is
sure.
having such a reaction to Lily Sobieski.
Yeah.
And so, like, is she true to herself, and does she hang out with the nerds, but she feels so good in the light of a kind of celebrity, which is being popular and being a hot girl. And then, of course, there's the romance that has aged so well with her and her teacher are attracted to each other.
Actually, I shouldn't be saying that because I'm your teacher. Yeah, you fucking shouldn't, dude.
Yeah, you should. Bottom line, full stop. My wife, who was younger, asked, she was like, so when you watched Pretty Little Liars, were you rooting for Ezra and Fitz? She's a high school junior, and she starts a relationship with her teacher, who's, like, new at the school.
Oh, wow.
And that was like, yeah, me and my roommate were watching, screaming at the TV at how crazy this was. But she's watching it at, like, 15, and she's like, because we were rooting for Arya and Fitz.
Yeah.
Like, and then I brought up, I was like, well, I'm talking about Never Been Kissed today. You think I wasn't rooting for her and her teacher
100%.
when I was watching this movie as a kid? Of course that I was.
When I was 9? Yeah, I'm like, get that bag, Josie. Are you kidding me? He's gorgy. Yeah. But now I'm like,
yeah.
He's mad at her because she's of age?
Yeah.
Like, at the end, I'm like, you're mad because you can, like, date her now?
Yeah,
like,
because suddenly all of your problems have been solved.
Yeah, like, what is going on? You're mad that she lied to you about her age of being 17? I'd be like, dope. Thank God I can lie. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus.
When did you start tracking performance as something like you're watching movies and you're liking movies as a kid? You go on for Idol when you are a teenager. When did becoming an artist of your own start becoming something you were tracking and being like, maybe I want this to be my life?
Really young. Even before Idol, I would make, like, little movies of myself with, like, the family, like, recording camera.
Before TikTok, we just did these dances for our parents in our homes.
100%. Everybody sit down and putting a fucking towel on my head. Yeah. Okay? And you're going to listen with this brush upside down.
Yeah, I have friends over. We're making a dance.
We're going to choreograph the VMAs. Set by set. Yes. Yeah. We're going to use the beer boxes as a stage. My teen years, my mom would drive me out to Hollywood. I would enter these radio competitions to sing that would, like, charge your parents $1,000 if you won.
If you won.
My mom's like, wait, so you won and you have to pay $1,000?
The prize is we pay them? Okay.
But, my mom was always, like, putting her shit in for me and, like, taking time off of work to make sure that, like, my star got a little shine. Mm-hmm. I always knew that I had to get out where I was from. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that, like, I would take every opportunity that came my way. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm older, I knew I was manifesting when I was younger. I just didn't know what it was. Mm-hmm. I was just like, when I do this, my mom told me that since you were a child, you would always say, when I'm famous, when I'm an actress, when I'm a singer, I'm going to do such and such. It was never like, Mom, I want to be. It's like, no, it's happening. Yeah. And my mom was like, yeah, like, and it all, like, everything that you said that was going to happen happened in different ways. Mm-hmm. I always knew it. Since I was like, I will audition for American Idol as soon as I'm old enough. And I did. And yeah, everything got a little derailed. And I always say, like, the universe will, like, give you your purpose. It just has different paths for you if you decide to derail it a bit. Yeah. Like, if you take time off, or if you kind of, like, want to put a halt on things, you're going to get there eventually. And it might not be the age that you want it to be in the beginning. But that road will circle around sometime. Like, it will. Well,
and thinking, like, you have this enduring connection to Drew Barrymore. That is God. If that is a woman who has lived so many lives. Cat. Like, you watch, I feel like, you could be a person watching her talk show now. And I remember when my wife once saw, like, a photo of, like, it was a bunch of celebrities standing together. And she was like, why is the honest diaper lady in this line of people? I was like, Are you referring to actress Jessica Alba? But she's 25, and this was a couple years ago. So at the time, she knows her as like this business lady and kind of influencer in the baby space.
City? Excuse me?
I don't even remember.
Honey?
I don't even remember how she first referenced Gwyneth Paltrow, and I was like, I just want to be clear. I was like, you don't need to, like, this doesn't need to be important to you, but I just want to be clear that she does have an Academy Award for acting. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a past of hers.
Yeah.
And by the
just
time,
a small one.
Just a small one. And by the time Drew Barrymore launches Flower Film, she's been a Hollywood, like the great Barrymore legacy of Hollywood. She has been an addict in recovery by the time she is old enough to vote.
Yeah.
She has like gone to rehab. Mm-hmm. She becomes an adult actor, not like in the AVN sense, but like a grown-up actor. Yeah. She is before ladies had production companies and were optioning Oprah's bestsellers and book club picks. Like, she was out here producing her own work, and now she's a talk show. You'd think this woman should be 80 with the amount of life she's lived, and I feel like you have similarly had so many lives up to this point.
Yeah. I think that's why I like love her so much and like identify with her, because like I always know that it's going to happen. Like the older I get, I just know that it's going to happen in different ways. But yeah, definitely different lives. I mean, like, they wanted me to write a book when I was like 27. And I'm like,
really?
Yes. Like, I got approached a few times to write a book about like my idol experience, like growing up in Azusa, like making it out on Drag Race, and then like having like they were talking about my accomplishments as like a musician and how that turned out. And I'm like, let me live a little, dude. Yeah. And then I got approached like a couple years ago. I still don't think I'm ready to like, because I know that things are going to like flourish in another direction, which is acting now. Mm-hmm. And I feel, I just know that like things are just going to be like going in that direction. And I want to live that out a bit. Mm-hmm. And like, I want to water that. Mm-hmm. And I want to like have my garden like grow a bit before I start like getting wild into it. So definitely like I'm on my like 5th life right now, probably.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
One of the favorite things I heard you say in the interviews I've listened to is like you talked about like here you're saying like when I'm famous, when this happens, and you're like, and now I'm gonna thrive in this area. And or you were talking about traveling with your boyfriend, and like how are you guys travel together? And you mentioned like I like turbulence. You're like, he's actually afraid to fly, but I like turbulence.
Love it.
And you were talking to Nicole Bahar, and she's like, that is the craziest thing I've heard a person say.
Yeah, it's weird.
But then you were like, I just have this like complete confidence and peace that like we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And that I feel like that kind of completely resolved certainty that you're gonna not only make it but like be successful.
Yes.
Is like, that sounds like it's been intrinsic to you actually
since
from like the earliest.
That's I don't know what that
really
is.
Amazing.
I don't know what that is. I would, even in my most depressive states, when I was living in Seattle writing my grunge album, thinking I was a Mexican Kurt Cobain, I always knew that there was a light at the end of that. There was a lawsuit I was going through. There was like a breakup. My dad's dad, like there was so much fucked up shit happening, but I knew that it was going to pass.
Wow.
I always knew that like this is gonna be fine. Like,
people pay a lot of money to find that realization.
But I also see the people that I look up to having a positive outcome, or what we think is, or a light at the end of the tunnel, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. It's the people that I look up to, the people that I like want to be like in life, that I see go through similar things, and I'm like, if they can go through that, like, you're a tough motherfucker. Mama didn't raise no bitch. Like, you're gonna get through this regardless. But on the turbulence thing, I love a turbulence. I'm a child of like touring in those little coffin beds in the tour bus. Like, I love that shit. Rock me to sleep. If we die, I will die cozy. But we're not. We're not.
You're like, but fortunately, we're not going to.
Unfortunately, we will live. No, I love a turbulence. I used to tour with my cousin a lot, and he did too. We loved turbulence. I don't know what it was.
Wow, lucky.
Granted, we probably were like way too drunk off of like some whiskey sodas. So like, we'd be like, this is cool. Everybody's freaking out.
I want to hear, because like Drew Barrymore, also a pathway into horror from there. Like, yes. and Casey Becker and Scream.
Yes.
I feel like there's such a fascinating connective tissue talking to queer folks about their connection to horror, because either that, like, you find so often that like alignment with like the final girl and that embodiment of survival and triumph, or aligning with the villain.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I'm going to be the one who's going to lock them in the fucking gym.
Yes.
And have my day.
Both.
Where was your, like, I as a horror specialist, I would love to hear about your beginnings with connecting to horror as well. And where you were finding yourself in that, whether it was what side of the coin you were really connecting with.
Now, see, keeping it in the same era of Never Been Kissed, I grew up in the era of the Rage Carrie 2.
Yeah, I was really hoping you would say the Rage Carrie 2.
Now, talk about, like, identifying with the villain, which, is she the villain?
Right.
Like, it was very much kind of like the sweet spot in the middle of, like, should she be doing this? Fuck yeah, she should.
Yeah.
I love the whole concept of, like, the final girl for sure, like with Scream. I always identify with. I love Sydney.
I love Sydney.
Love Sydney.
She's my number one of all time.
Miss Prescott, please, yes.
Yes.
But also, like, some people be like, their time be up sometimes. Like, honestly, like, I would love to, like, blow the eyes out of a bitch I hated in high school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, definitely identified with that movie, The Rage Carrie 2. What was her name in that movie?
Now I'm forgetting.
I think it starts with an R. But Amina Savari was in that too.
Oh yeah!
Remember?
Wow, what a big time for her.
That was rough. For
that
her.
and Sugar and Spice and
Rachel Lang, by the way, Rachel Lang.
Rachel Lang. Thank you, Marissa.
Yeah, Sugar and Spice was dope too. I love that movie.
Yeah.
This is the era of, like, my consuming, like, that was, like, my favorite time of, like, movie.
Because I've heard you talk about, like, connecting with, like, the, like, 90s girls, like,
yes.
And, like, obviously formative years, but there is a particular flavor about the kind of anti-ingenue of the 90s.
Yes.
And, like, Drew Barrymore was flipping off the camera and wearing tiny baby tees and, like, sticking her tongue out at the camera.
Rose McGowan.
Exactly, Rose McGowan. The sort of alt girl scene of New York, kind of defined by sort of Chloe Sevigny,
yes.
Christina Ricci,
yes.
Natasha Lyonne. What is it about those? How do those heroines, those pop culture heroines, sort of speak to you then, in like comparison to how you, like, look back on them now?
I think, like, they spoke to me as a kid because, like, I was always told to be, like, this proper boy when I was younger. I was always told, like, boys don't do that.
Yeah.
Boys don't play with Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman dolls. You're not Catwoman, you're Robin. And I'm like, sorry to break it to you, bitch, but and it's a big one. But like, I always wanted to be like Catwoman. I always wanted to be like that, like, femme fatale, like, fuck you all vibe. But I was always told, like, boys don't do that. And then when I would see this female beauty kind of going against the grain, I'm like, oh my God, people are probably telling them, girls don't do that. And they're very much so like, fuck all of you.
Yeah.
And it was so, like, empowering as a young queer kid to watch that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if they can do that shit, being, like, women,
Yeah.
like, you're over here in Azusa, like, being told, like, you know, boys don't do that. Like, boys also don't fucking shoot up cars on the freeway, dude. Like, come on. Like, boys also fucking, you know, don't do a lot of things that people do around here.
Yeah.
Like that went to school with me. But yeah, I guess that's what it is. And still the same. Like, I mean, I grabbed from all of that, like, even in my, like, you know, like, earlier drag years.
Yeah.
Like pulling from my heroes and kind of going against, like, all of that, and, like, embodying, like, the Riot Grrrl movement and Courtney Love, but also have a sprinkle of Britney in there and have that, like, sweet kind. It's my Libra Sun Scorpio rising. It's kind of like the whole balance. I think that's why I love Drew Barrymore too, with the thorn and flower kind of, like, theory that I was going off of. Sweetness, but there's always some dark. There's always like a scorpion in the back of my mind. I don't know.
Well, and the kind of the crux of Never Been Kissed is a girl who has a chance to do it over again.
Yeah.
And in talking to you, like, there's so much forward propulsion, it seems like, in your life.
Yeah.
And like, with that confidence and with that momentum toward, like, okay, so if the next, like, let's find, like, what is that next way that I'm going to thrive?
Yeah.
What is your, like, and with, like, coming out so young as you did, but then kind of getting into the industry side of it, having to sort of bottle a bit? It seems like you having to bottle away a progression that was happening in your life.
Totally.
Or do you sit with the Evers of the, well, if I could, or is it like, no, bitch, that's behind me? I don't mean to, like, make it a sad thing, but, like, is there a grief for that time, or do you feel like your ability to live out loud so much has kind of like allowed you to make up for like that time you had to be put back in the bottle.
Yeah. Definitely agree for that little person.
Sure.
For sure. Seeing like how easy it was for like other people in that time. I mean, it was like 2007, 8.
Hard time.
Hard
time to not be normal.
on Fox.
In scare quotes.
On Fox.
Oh my God.
And even like back then, like I just would always see like the other contestants or like even the people I was auditioning with be like super like flowy, being called into the boardroom, being told not to come out, being told you don't say this.
Oh God.
They were allowed to tell you that back then.
Right. That
And
was not shameful.
not at all.
That was not a fireable offense.
And then on top of it, like I did half of the show traveling with my mom because I was underage, and then my 18th birthday happened, so my mom had to leave. So I was handling everything on my own, like not knowing, fresh out of high school. Like,
Jesus, I couldn't have handled that. Absolutely not.
did not know how to handle that. I feel sorry for that like little boy, and I feel sorry for like the stuff that like happened, and like there was a lot of shame that went around that as well. There was the website called votefortheworst.com back then.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was on the front of that page every week, and they called me, I think they named me Egotistical Tranny.
Oh my
That
God.
was my name, and I was 17 years old when they first came up with that. And I remember them calling me that when I was young, like 14, 15. So that was kind of like my identity already. I knew that was what I was.
Yeah.
An egotistical tranny.
You're like skewered.
I said, bitch, how they know?
As they would say, I mean, clocked is how that would come in
I
now.
feel very clocky right now. What?
You're like, they see me for what I am.
Yeah, how they know that? I'm one. No, but they definitely like that was the norm. They even had like the vote for the worst guy on like David Letterman and like those late night shows, and I'm like, they're like actually.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had Hot or Not. Tucker Max existed.
Yes.
There was a countdown to the of age birthday for Mary Kate and Ashley.
Yes.
It was and we've really managed to bring back a lot of the worst of then to now.
Yes.
In this current moment.
Absolutely.
That's when you know you have a Republican administration.
Absolutely. Oh,
Is when it's the 2000s
you just hit
all
that
over
right
again.
on the head.
Recession indicator is
we were just talking about
hateful
that too.
hetero-nationalist pop culture pervasiveness.
It was fucked up then, and it's all coming back. But, it was really hard to be a teenager in that time, and then to also be like, you know, dropped off and then figure out what you're gonna do. I auditioned for X Factor. Not everybody really knows that, but I auditioned for I made it through like all of the audition processes, and let's just say one of the judges said, "What are you, a girl or a boy?" And then she said something else, and then I was like, "Fuck these people, dude! Like, fuck this shit." And then I started drag, like not too late after that.
You're like, both. I'm doing drag.
Literally, right? I'm egotistical and. No, but like I was like, I can compartmentalize that part of myself, that femininity, into a character.
Yeah.
This is what I realized after therapy. And it'll be enough. Like that'll be cool. Like I can let it out on stage. I can do like the little meets after or whatever, and I could put her away.
Yeah.
And it was just not getting put away.
Isn't that just such a testament how even you convinced yourself you have enough of the truth, it's like fucking never lasts.
Yeah.
And it like this is like a non sequitur, but I was helping work on a documentary filming at Dory Alley a couple years ago in San Francisco, the big lesser well-known counterpart to the Folsom Street Fair, the S&M, a little harder edged, a little more extreme out in the street in Soma in San Francisco. And I hadn't ever been in a space particularly like that, and I was walking around, and my prevailing thought the entire weekend was like, I am so glad this exists because people feel this and want this. People are being punched and restrained and whipped, and it is consensual and it is communal. I was like, people need to have the permissive places and communities to do this, otherwise, because they're gonna do it some other way. And it's not going to be safe.
Yeah.
And like, you can keep putting it back in the butt, but at a certain point, it's going to emerge in a way that's not safe and or healthy for the person having to do it.
100%. I agree.
I'm so glad the caterpillar made its way slowly.
The wings came out eventually.
Okay, well then, because we're in the 2000s, I think this I would be remiss if I did not bring up Jennifer's Body again, since you planted the seed. Tell me the experience of it's the end of the 2000s. You are now in this public phase of your life, and you're getting into entertainment, and you have a relationship with your queerness already. Like, I'm 12 years old, mom, I'm coming out to you. What is that initial experience of witnessing Jennifer Check like?
I mean, it was...
Boy, is she not Drew Barrymore as Josie.
No. No. It was, again, I feel like she speaks to, like, certain parts of my life growing up, because it's like we all kind of have that. Yeah, I guess in different ways. I never realized that, but in different ways, like, I definitely identified with her. It's that rage.
Yeah.
It's that, honestly, like, also putting, like, stuffing and suppressing, like, my femininity as well, like, seeing her deteriorate.
Yeah,
like, there was, like, so many, like, poetic, like, statements in those scenes that, like, spoke to me when I was younger as well. Maybe that's why, like, I was super drawn to her.
All the sensation of that movie, the part that really that gets me the hardest every time is when she is sitting looking at the mirror before the dance, applying foundation through tears.
Yes.
Every moment of Jennifer Check in that movie, except when she's being murdered, every moment of her is a shield and a sword.
Yes.
She is defending herself by taking a shot at you.
Yes.
And then in that moment, we see her, like, utter vulnerability.
Yes.
And it is so, because it's not that the ferocity, I absolutely love the ferocity of Megan Fox, A, and Jennifer Check, B, but in that, just to see, like, that performance could have been nominated for a goddamn Oscar.
It was beautiful. That was, like, cinematic masterpiece. Like, the little angle, it was beautiful.
Next to the photo of herself, too. She's, like, smiling and looking beautiful.
And then she's like, fuck it all, I'm killing her boyfriend. It's like, if I can't I need to kill him. He'll make me beautiful again.
When you now that you are focusing more on acting, are you kind of engaging with, like, is watching movies any different, or is taking into consideration performances and actors that you've maybe always liked, but, like, are seeing them now as the lens of, like, somebody who's pursuing this professionally? Like, how do you view that art now? I'm sure, like, as a musician, when you listen to music, like, you experience that as a musician.
Yeah.
How are you experiencing film now and watching acting as somebody who's doing that yourself?
Yeah, it is a little different, I think. I think I'm more observant of little things and techniques, and I'm there's definitely more of, like, a rounded appreciation. There's
now you've seen the whole mechanics of it, behind the scenes.
Yeah, even, like, cute little crutches or whatever. Like, I love like little ticks that certain actors do, like the whole, like, Jessica Lange, like, cigarette, like, there's tiny little
their
things
hands, Jessica Lange's hands,
or Neve Campbell.
She loves the neck grab.
Yes, I love to see what actresses do with their hands, how they embody their characters from, like, head to toe. There's, like, just little things that I'm more aware of, just, like, learning the art of it and just, like, really, like, diving into that I never really noticed before, or, like, probably annoy my boyfriend at, but I'm like, wow, I love that. He's like, what? Like, look at that. Let's rewind that really quick.
That has been always one of my favorite things about Kristen Stewart, is she's such an actor of little business.
Yes.
And, like, in a way that she unfoundedly got chastised for earlier. It was like, oh, she's so awkward. It's like, no, she is performing with every bit of her skin and nerve.
Yes.
Every bit of her is performing right now, is what you are seeing. Yes. Every hair on her head.
Her anxiety is performing right now. Like, it's like, girl, we got this. Yeah, I've noticed that too with her. I love Kristen Stewart.
And what you were saying about hands, that actually made me think of, I'm really, like, we brought up the Jessica Lange. If you ever watched Ocean's 8, the Lady Ocean's heist movie, Anne Hathaway is in that, basically playing a satirization of herself. She's playing the version of her that everyone hated on the internet, that wasn't ever real, but that they decided she was. So she just makes her character in that, like, a character, like, high femme caricature of herself. And she has this take in the movie where she, like, kind of, like, can't stop touching her neck and, like, adoring herself.
I bet you that sent people through the wall. And she was living.
It was one of my favorite things. I think I've ever seen an actor do.
Yeah.
Just like you're right. Those little like the ticks of the
yeah,
things.
there's little details that I notice now. I've noticed like some of them when I was younger. Even in comedians, I would tell Bianca, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like her crutch or this is that. But with acting, like yeah, like and also like there's a bigger appreciation for like longer monologues or like long, and I'm like, wow, like I wonder how many takes she did that, or the lighting is stunning right here, and or like, oh, that little piece of hair was on that. It's just like certain little things that you notice. But yeah.
What were you, we were talking before we recorded about like you being really excited about like the scary challenge of learning a new thing. And what was something that scared you most about Opal and taking on that character for Hag in like your movie debut?
Yeah, I think the scariest thing about learning how to embody or like use myself as a vessel for Opal was that there wasn't gonna be like too much of a distinction between the two. I think like the worst like compliment you can get is like, oh, like it just looked like you.
Yeah,
or,
sure.
Like, oh, like, oh yeah, like that didn't seem too hard or whatever. All right, well, fuck you too.
Yeah.
No,
awesome.
I think it was difficult because what had happened was I had gotten. I didn't have like an updated script when I got there.
Oh, okay.
So I had like an older script that I had memorized, and it was less dialogue for me.
Yeah.
And when we sat down at the table read, everybody, I didn't have I think because I was the only one traveling outside of LA.
Oh yeah. You were the special one that got brought in all the way from the States.
I was very special.
Yeah, I think you and Sam were the only Americans who were there.
It was pretty cool though to kind of like, fast track the learning. I had like a day to learn, like overnight to get everything together before we started doing fittings like super early, so I didn't really have time to fit that in. But I was like, bring it the fuck on.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I remember like sitting in the mirror and being like, you are gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like you, like there's so many other more like important elements to this fucking movie than your character. Like granted, like you're gonna like kick ass in it, like quite literally, but like show the fuck up, and like like prove yourself to yourself basically. But yeah, probably a long monologue. I was like, I'm not gonna. Yes, I am. And then we showed up, and it took me like I think 1 or 2 tries, and then I just like was like, no, you got this. Like, just keep doing it. Yeah.
Did you see Pearl, the Mia Goth horror movie?
I did.
That like,
I've seen it.
What
once.
is that like? 10 minutes of her almost just to camera.
I'm like, this has to be improv. What's going on? It's not
real.
Yeah.
Like just telling the worst story she could possibly tell and having like a whole existential breakdown while it's happening.
It's stuff like that.
Unbelievable.
That's like magic to me.
It is, isn't it?
I love stuff like that.
It really, like, the more I see of how stuff gets made, actually, the less believable I find it.
Yeah.
I'm actually more mystified by the existence of movies the more I see of how they're done. Because I'm like, does everybody know they're getting a miracle?
Yeah.
Does everybody know they're getting a miracle when they see a movie?
That's probably the most that I've been paying attention to is like the length of which they have to speak into camera, off to camera, or like no cuts. I'm like, oh, that's a badass bitch right there. Like that's somebody who like knows her shit, because even if it's like a new actress that I've never, I'm like, oh, that's a bad bitch.
Because like you've seen how it's a job. Like, oh, I've seen the parts of how this is a day at work, and not just like the beautiful art that effervesces from all of us. Like the technical and artistic combination and serendipity and determination and everything that goes into a moment. Like nothing you saw was an accident.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some things serendipitous did happen, like we're leaving it in, but and
it's not like they're like doing it one after, like you're shooting and you're doing a different and you're getting that. Like, damn, bitch, like work it out. Bitch, the fuck me too. Okay.
And stunts. And getting your ass beat or beating someone up.
Yes, pull my hair. Beat my ass.
What is the relationship between the multiple kinds of arts that you do in the way that they can inspire each other?
Yeah.
Like how are your various lives as an artist informing the other right now?
It definitely changes. Like it changed for sure within the last like 3 years, I would say. I look at my life as like an economic system. Like my music and touring, that's like a side of me that can fund my acting and that can, pay for certain acting classes or a voice coach or like certain things that I need to sharpen my tool with. But also like get the gratification of like performing. Like I love performing. I love singing. It's just not my main focus of, you know, watering that into a field of like daisies right now. Like I feel eventually like I'll start doing music again, but I feel like I have enough under my belt to tour with. I do a lot of Pride circuits.
Yeah. The summer must be June
wild.
must be unlivable for you.
It's wild. June and July and August, I'm going to be in like South America. It's wild.
You just have to tell your boyfriend like, I will see you when I see you.
And I do.
am so sorry that I cannot give you more than that.
Yes. And then like I'm like super lazy for like 3-4 months of my life. And then like I'm going to be able to sleep in until noon. I'm going to do whatever I want to do because after this, it's just go. But I'm super grateful that I can afford to like put it into my acting and like do the things that I want to do on the days where I can just chill and like water the Adore at home, not Adore Delano that's like doing these prides and like headlining prides and stuff like that. It's like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, I guess actually I have one last thing, which is, are your karaoke songs, because I've heard you mention karaoke so much. And
I love karaoke.
I love karaoke. It has come up in the show by the time. It used to be in a league in San Francisco. It was extremely fun. The best things of my entire life. Are your karaoke go-tos now the same as they always have been? Or in like your artistic and personal like literal transition, are you tapping into different things that you want to get up there and belt? Or is it like, no, these are the hits and these will always be the hits?
They're the hits.
They're the hits.
Man.
All right.
Like I'd be doing like Coldplay, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like low-key, I'd be performing the songs that I am too scared to perform on stage.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, let me just see. And I have, you know what's crazy?
Perfect.
I would use it as like a like I would literally go up there on stage and be like, let's see like what the vibe is if it sounds good first. Because I don't want to pay for like any studio time at Amp Studios in North Hollywood. So let me just use this as my practice. And I've done like, I Put a Spell on You, Annie Lennox. I started that off in karaoke bars. And I'm like, this shit fucks. Like, wait a minute. I would take this on tour. Or like Creep, Radiohead. Like I've done like songs in karaoke bars and been like, this actually works.
That's like you're like a comic working out your like tight five.
That part, literally. I want to go to like a stand up, like what are they called? Open mic.
Open mic, yeah.
Giving karaoke open mic. Absolutely.
That is definitely how I'm going to put a bow on the whole conversation.
Yes.
Adore, thank you so much for taking the time and coming in.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Okay,
you have
good.
like the most like thought out, like really well-rounded questions that I haven't been asked before. Like I feel
so happy. You've been in media a long time, so I'm glad to hear that.
No, it's dope. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.